The goal is to never to get the thing. The goal is to become a version of you who feels no separation from it, from what you desire. Welcome, you guys. Welcome to our Neville Goddard's The Power of Awareness book, where we implement nervous system lens whilst checking his work. All right, because I believe this is very important because our nervous systems, when they are coherent, they attract everything that we desire in much easier form. All right, it acts exactly as a magnet because we do live in a physical world, in a 3D reality where we translate frequencies and energies and vibrations through five senses. You know those senses: see, hear, smell, touch, taste. So, this is the translation that's happening thanks to our nervous systems. So, if you are to manifest anything in your life, anything desired, you should return to your body all the time. All right. So, what I want to say, this chapter is very important that we will explore today. We will explore chapter 20, righteousness. I love this chapter very much, and I want to say that this chapter contains one of the most misunderstood definitions in Neville's work, because as soon as people hear righteousness, they already think of a sin or salvation or something like that, and they immediately refer to religion itself. But Neville doesn't. He gives them a psychological meaning. He's being smart and wise in here. And once you understand it, the entire chapter becomes incredibly practical to you. All right. So as usual, if you want the entire chapter reading, here's the card on the screen. You can click there because, as usual, today I will just explore with you a few paragraphs. All right. So let's begin. In the preceding chapter, righteousness was defined as the consciousness of already being what you want to be. This is the true psychological meaning, and obviously does not refer to adherence to moral codes, civil law, religious precepts. You cannot attach too much importance to being righteous. In fact, the entire Bible is permeated with admonition and exhortation on this subject. So, very important. Neville isn't talking about being good in here, like good, right? He doesn't talk about morality. He's talking about being identified with a version of yourself you simply desire to be. This is what righteousness in his terms is. And he believes that this is what righteousness was meant to be in the Bible before certain authorities came and changed it to turn it into politics. So this is identity, righteousness. It's not behavior itself, not performance, not perfection. This is simple identity, the state that you repeatedly occupy. This is what your identity is, because your identity is comprised of what you believe yourself to be, what you believe of the world to be, what you like, what thoughts you accept as yours, and yeah, what beliefs you carry. So righteousness is not acting like it; it is being it, whatever you are being. Okay. This is very important, you guys. Very often the words sin and righteousness are used in this same quotation. This is a logical contrast of opposites and becomes enormously significant in the light of the psychological meaning of righteousness and the psychological meaning of sin. Sin means to miss the mark, not to attain your desire, not to be the person you want to be, is sinning, as per Neville and as per the Bible, what he's saying us. Righteousness is the consciousness of already being what you want to be. So this really changes everything for us. Neville removes guilt from the equation, and the mark, which was mentioned here, to miss the mark, right? So the mark is the state itself. So the version of you you're moving toward. So missing the mark is something you are exiting and forgetting about. For example, if you've been dreaming of a certain state to occupy and you felt it, and then your more natural state, which you used to, just came back, and you kind of forgot about your dream state. This is what means missing the mark without returning to it. So it's not about failing morality here. It's just missing the mark of consistency, consistent occupation of the desired state. This is very important because whatever you repeatedly identify with limitation or old assumptions, you are assuming missing the mark. Like really old assumptions, old identity, what you know yourself to be. So sin is not really being bad here, and sin is forgetting the state. Literally, just forgetting the state you deliberately choose to occupy. All right. Let's go here. On the other hand, he can be saved by righteousness. The successful use of the law of assumption would have the inevitable result of an actual change in the life of the person. He would no longer live in poverty or whatever you struggling with. He would no longer miss the mark. He will be saved from sin. Except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall in no wise enter into the kingdom of heaven. All right. So, okay. So what I want to say that notice what Neville is pointing us toward. The change is not really symbolic here. It's practical because life always changes, you guys. Circumstances change. Your consciousness changes. Hence, it is expressed in your world, in your outer world, and experiences change. So through nervous system lens, nervous system doesn't really organize around what you want, just want. It organizes around what feels like you, what your system is prepared to noticing, witnessing, seeing, experiencing. All right. So when identity changes consistently, and also when your behavior changes, your perception and your decisions, everything begins to change as well along with that. So reality will follow your identity all the time, not the other way around. Okay, identity first, what you know yourself to be, what you believe the world to be, and then reality expresses everything in accordance to that. Everything that's congruent with your beliefs. Yes, this is what is. This is what many people don't understand because they try to. If they're lacking for something, they just try to fill that void from their act with their action. But that action is being just just was generated by the mind that created the lack, limitation, or whatever they didn't feel comfortable with. So that's why it's very important to go inward first. Change yourself inside so that outside can express what you want it to express. And it's very important also not to control every single detail because you cannot. If it's not surprising to you, in terms of like, wow, this came to me in such unexpected ways, it means that it's not from the divine, it's not from God. It's just your ego kind of orchestrated that. No, you should be amazed of how things come to you. You do not come to it. It comes to you. Unless there are certain open doors, of course. This is the divine's way of saying, hey, go ahead, do certain action because here's the door open for you, here's the solution, so act on it so that you can welcome whatever you want. But otherwise, do not force things to happen with your limited mind, okay? Just get inside of yourself, feel the feelings of what you want to feel, and then you'll be able to see certain doors, certain windows that open for you, either to act or to welcome anything that you desire. Okay, and this is very important, you guys. Scribes and Pharisees means those who are influenced and governed by the outer appearances, the rules and customs of the society in which they live, but the way desire to be thought well of, by other men. Unless the state of mind is exceeded, your life will be one of limitation, of failure to attain your desires, of missing the mark of sin. This righteousness is exceeded by true righteousness, which is always the consciousness of already being that which you want to be. Okay? Because many people do want their new reality, but they keep asking reality who they are. They do not know who they are. because they're thinking from the limited mind, right? From the ego self, if you can even call it self. So when your self-concept depends on appearances, your circumstances will lead and states will follow overall. And Neville teaches the reverse. He teaches that if appearances define you, they will continue to direct you. Okay, this is what Neville teaches us. But this is not the righteousness without which you die in your sins. Righteousness is not the thing itself, it is the consciousness, the feeling of already being the person you want to be, of already having the thing that you desire. All right, so this may be the most important paragraph, I think, in this chapter. Let me explain why. Because most people focus on relationship, on money, on house, on the opportunity, whatever they desire. But Neville not forces, rather. Um, yeah, although he's using certain phrases, but he wants us to focus on totally different subject, not on not the object itself, but on the version of on the feeling inside of us. So, because through nervous system lens, the nervous system doesn't attach to objects; it attaches to your identity around those objects. You see how it works? So become familiar with the version of you who already has whatever you desire. That is at its state. You have to become it first. So the goal is never the thing, not the object, not the experience. The goal is the consciousness of being it. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all of these things shall be added unto you. But the kingdom, entire creation of God, your I am, is within you. But I am infinite. I am not your ego self, not your name, not your identity, not your culture, not your religion, not your hair color, skin color, anything. None of it. Okay, your I am is something that's residing within you. If you are conscious enough to feel it. I mean, either way around, it's always within you. But if you want to connect to it, you have to strip yourself from your own identity, because you cannot connect to the divine if you remember who you are as the avatar in this reality. So, okay, righteousness is the awareness that you already possess it all. So you see, not someday, already possess it all. Not when reality changes, and not after proof arrives. Okay, it should be always now. So from nervous system perspective, this doesn't mean pretending, you guys. It means temporarily occupying a state that exists beyond current appearances, beyond what you see now, in the now. So righteousness is remembering what is possible before reality reflects it. Okay, remembering. Because if you approach your desire as a memory, when it becomes so familiar to you, so when you bring your awareness to that reality, you feel homecoming. You feel it is your home. It feels so natural to you. It feels nothing is missing. It feels unfolding. It feels already here. This is right. It is memory. It's not something you're generating and convincing yourself with. It is memory. So for exercise tonight, I want you to ask yourself, if I already have that thing, if I already were rather a version of me I desire to be, because again, it's not about the thing. It's about who you need to become to welcome that thing. So how would I relate to life, to my life, and to myself right now? Stop performing. Stop thinking from your ego self. Do, go, 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 go. Change it, change it. No, it's not about that. Yes, you do. You do dismantle your whatever felt comfortable to you. It's okay. Whatever is not congruent with that, you remove the distortion. But also, you just allow yourself to be. Okay, you remove the distortion, but you do not act from the ego. Like you have to perform. No, and focus on the feeling of the now. It should never be tomorrow, the day after, not after manifestation. The feeling can occur within you. The feeling has to occur right now. And notice what will change, because I I I promise you, you guys, you will feel the change if you continue dwelling in the feeling of being the one who already welcomed what you wanted to welcome. You will see certain synchronicities, certain serendipities. It will be God's infinite, divine's way of confirming it has heard your your dream, your request. Some people might say command, but I don't believe in this word. Your request, your clarity. This is very important. And it will come in the most unexpected yet beautiful ways. If you allow it to be beautiful, okay? Just notice what you're pronouncing in your own mind every single time. So I want you to know that yes, Neville Goddard mentioned righteousness in the chapter, but it's not about religion. It's not about morality. This chapter is not really about morality, but I do not discount morality, not at all. But in Neville Goddard's way, righteousness is about identity. So sin is missing the mark, and righteousness occupying this state, and salvation is no longer identifying with the limitation toward what you desire. And according to Neville, the outer world will always reflect your inner world. Righteousness is being persistent in occupying the state. All right. So I hope you guys liked it. If you have any questions, put it down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.